technical difficulties. Hopefully the fellow viewers will find their way back into the stream now. Anyways, welcome back. We're currently following Slimmy on his time lap attempt. Goes fastest by 8/10 in the, or faster than his original fastest time, of course, in the second sector, managing the rear end nicely. And into Parabolica now. Really fighting with the rear end, going really wide, but still somehow keeping it together, and will set his new personal best with 1:29.2. Improves by over a second, so there must have been an error in the first lap, or the conditions are getting better, which we definitely have to keep an eye out for, as the next car around will be a Haas of Sabetti's. I don't think we saw an improvement. Nichols sets a lap of 1:30.6. Manages to improve over Dublade by just a bit. So yeah, here's Romp, improving by good half a second. Nicely through Ascari. Really surprised to see no slip-ups in Ascari as of yet. But that's, of course, that's good. We don't want any casualties to happen prematurely. Romp goes round Parabolica and will go 1:28.8 up into second place. Very nice lap from him, only 2/10 away from Denja's original provisional pole time. Here's Slimmy then, but I believe he has pulled out. Zab is invalid. Malek is just starting a lap. Let's see Sabetti. To the line with a 1:29.4. Manages to improve by 3/10 and goes seventh fastest. Nichols opts for the pits. Let's see if Dublé can improve on his original time. Going really wide at turn 1. But gets away. Is improving by a single tenth, but there is still time. Most of the time, I believe, is made on the second sector and of course the third. Nice little round Lesmo one, and then the second one. Not taking a whole lot of curb on the outside. That may be wise, as the wet conditions probably are making the curves rather slippery. He's improving by a whole second, so looks to be set to break into the top 10s. So let's see. Two-Blade will come to the line in his Haas to set a 1:30.5. Improves by a good 7/10, but it still isn't enough to improve his position more than by just a single position over Nichols in the Red Bull. Here's Cam, but he's invalid and comes to the pits. Williams pairing in Parabolica. Denja really trying to get the toe on his teammate. Let's see if he's able to improve on his provisional pole time. The conditions don't seem to be improving, so It's just all about the track improvement. Really lengthy wheel spin coming out of the first chicane for Denja. Let's see if that cost him time. He's on par with his original fastest time. But outbrakes himself and goes out of the track. That's that attempt to the bin. Here's Apex Turbo now improving by half a second. Looks to be set to break into the 128s. Where only the top two drivers have managed to break into thus far. Seems to get the power down quite hastily and will go 128.6, which is good enough for second. Drawing ever closer to Denja. Just 4 100s behind. We're set for an exciting finish. Who will time their run the best? Because the track is improving. The more the cars go around the track, the more spray they will dissolve. As Denja, I believe, has had a mishap in the last corner, but still time for one more run. Here's Apex, but I believe he's on a cooldown lap. So is Malekic. Let's see Mike. What can Mike do? Run Monza. Well, not much in that front wing, but they're still gonna opt for the pits in the end. Still has time for one more lap around the track. He calls into the pits, so the track is pretty quiet right now. Reaper's invalid. Let's see Fontana, our championship leader, starting his what probably will be the final attempt of the session, unless he does back-to-back laps here. Clears the first chicane quite nicely. A bit of wheel spin on the exit, but let's see if that slowed him down. He's slower by a 100th. The rain, from the looks of it, has stopped, but I believe it will be the same than with Tier 2. There will be not enough time for the track to dry out enough for the dry tires, but the conditions definitely improving here. We will probably see faster times here late. As in the second sector, Fonter now goes purple. It's improving by half a tenth. It looked pretty fast through Ascari, taking a lot of curb, but still. Into Parabolica goes Fonter now. Gets the power down, out of battery. But it will be a good time of 128.8, so goes third. Cam has retired in the first chicane. We will go on board with Slimy on a fast lap. On the second sector line, improving by almost half a second. Looks to be set to break into the top threes. Let's see if he's able to get the toe out of that McLaren ahead. I believe it will be Mike's, who is yet to set a time. It will be a battle of timings here late in Monza. Slimy will come to the line and we'll still have time for another run. Goes quickest by 128.5. by a single tenth and still can start another run but doesn't do so. So that will be his time. 1:28.5 will be the new provisional pole time. Zap coming to the line now. Will he improve? Yes, he will. Goes 6th fastest. Apex just misses the line and has to settle for 3rd for now, of course. Denja is invalid, so that will be his session done. Ponte still improving on his time. It will be a fast one, but stays 4th. Romp improving by 7 tenths. Looks to be on the pole pace. Let's see, it will be fast. It's a 1:28.1 and goes to the provisional pole. What a buzzer beater from Romp, but there still might be a response. Slimy has pulled out. Denja is invalid. Malakic seemingly being slower than his original time and losing it in Parabolica, so our grid for the race is set. Romp and Slimy with the Racing Point 1-2. What a nice lap from Romp. That was perfectly executed. I believe that was the final time lap of the session, getting the most out of the changing conditions and clinching the pole here today. But what will he do in the race? Of course, dry conditions in the race. What will the setups be? Have the drivers cut out from their maximum top speed to opt for more downforce in the wet qualifying session? It will be all revealed next, but let's go down the starting grid order. So Racing Point 1-2 with Romp and Slimy. Denja and Apex in the 2nd row. Fontanel and Zab in the 3rd row. And then running down is Malakic. The Haas pairing of Sabetti and Dublade in 8th and 9th, respectively. Ripper Dude in 10th. Cam in 11th. Nichols in 12th. Squid in 13th. John James in 14th. And Mike being the last car on the grid. Now, of course, we gotta remember it was a wet session, so it will be a free tire choice for all of our drivers. So it will definitely will be a one-stop unless there is damage. And here we have the predicted pit stop strategies on screen. For the soft runners, from which Romp is one, should be opting for the softs, the mediums. So let's see what tires have our drivers picked for the start. So the Haas pairing both opting for the mediums, and so do John James and Mike at the back, and Reproduce, who's disqualified from formation lap, has to start on the cold tires. Of course, not optimal. But the rest of the grid really trying the max out their early pace. Will that prove advantageous? That we will see later. Oh, and Fontenot manages to get himself disqualified just before the line. And Romp and Slimmy taking the first two positions on the grid. And also Mike making his way with the McLaren. Let's see, Monza, of course, always entertaining. And it's 5 red lights. And away we go. Romp seemingly getting a good start. So does Denja. Slimmy defending quite a bit against Apex Turbo. To the first corner. Will we see absolute carnage? Zap misses his braking point by a mile. Yellow flags immediately. There's Blade unfortunately round in the first corner. Hopefully no damage, but all of our drivers seem to get away in the end. With Apex Turbo getting the jump on Denja and Malekic now challenging him from behind. Ooh, Slimmy having to take it to the gravel. And Apex Turbo immediately up his tail. And Romp sprinting to a massive lead as Malekic goes wide and Fontenot says thank you very much. And so does Sabetti, so a couple of positions down for Malekic for that mistake unfortunately. And round Ascari for the first time, Malekic hits Sabetti and loses the front wing of his, or part of it at least. And probably has to opt for an early pit stop. That is very unfortunate. But anyways, Denja furiously trying to catch Apex Turbo with the 2 racing points still leading the way after first lap. Apex trying to break the slipstream on Denja behind. Let's quickly see the positions gained. Blade and Malekic and Mike having to pit, losing out early, probably opting for the hard compound tires. But we shall see. All of our 15 drivers still in the race. That is always nice to see. Denja really having the slipstream on Apex, who tries to break it. Oh, and Denja going really wide at Ascari. Doesn't seem to lose all that much time, but I believe that must have been a warning. As at the back, Nichols is struggling, has lost the position for Saab, and Noob Squid is trying to go to the inside. Still side by side through Parabolica. And much to the Tifosi's delight, it seems that the Ferrari of Noob Squid has prevailed. Now trying to go to the inside on Zab. Oh, and Cam has gone round, and whoa, there's all sorts of cars going round. With Zab losing out, I believe we will see that in the stewards report. As the 2 Williams now locking horns, Fontenot getting the jump on Denja. and seems to retain his position for now. Denja having, of course, the DRS assistance going to the second DRS straight. And I believe he's got this move in the back. Fontenelle still trying to defend to the outside. Side by side, the two Williams go in Ascari, but Denja gets his position back. The two Williams furiously finding each other. Meanwhile at the top, Slimmy is doing fastest laps lap after lap and is on the DRS of Romp. Meanwhile Fontenelle gets past his teammate yet again. The two Williams teammates gotta be careful now in 4th and 5th not to bottle this. Denja trying to go on the outside on Fontenelle in Curva Grande. And manages to do so, just makes the corner, but Fontenelle gets the better of the exits. More like it's now with the fastest lap with the new set of softs, of course. Oh, so close. It's really hurting the Williams pair as Apex has sprinted into a 3-second lead. Fontenelle, of course, now with the DRS assistance. But holds back for now. Let's see, Reaper trying to catch Sabetti. Having used all of his ERS, which Sabetti still has 30%, so... Oh, and Sabetti slows down to let them pass. There might have been an incident I didn't see, apologies for that. As John James is now looking to take advantage on Reaper whose battery is dead. With DRS assistance, the Mercedes powered car goes past Reaper for 6th. And Mike being the first car penalized in the race. Further back, the Ferrari of Noob Squid is furiously trying to catch Nichols. Really taking the second chicane carefully, but safely, albeit. DRS will be available. Noob Squid getting the better of the exits. DRS wide open, using battery, Nichols with damage, and has to concede to the Ferrari. Very nice and safe move from Noob Squid. Always nice to see. As Reaper Dude is trying to get his 6th position back on John James. Really using a hefty amount of his ERS. Already almost out. Now DRS open. Reaper Dude goes to the inside. Both of the drivers brake relatively at the same time, but the Reaper Dude manages to get his position back. Sabetti being very close behind. Meanwhile, at the front, the two Racing Points are now drawing ever closer to each other, with Rump leading the way from Slimmy. Rump has used quite a lot of his battery, which Slimmy still has nearly 70% of. DRS open. I believe Slimmy might get close, but will it be close enough? Whoa, and both of the drivers having moments in Ascari, but managing to stay on the track as the penalty starts slowly starting to pour in. Slimmy taking it really wide. Now with DRS wide open, Romp has used his battery. He's on recharge mode. Slimmy will have such a speed advantage to the straight. Romp locks up in the first corner. Now let's see if there will be a move at Curva Grande as Rump loses his rear a bit. Slimmy now in the slipstream of his teammate. He's got to be careful. Goes back for now, but Slimmy loses the rear. Just manages to keep it out. Just a slight tap of the rear wheel. But has to concede for Apex Turbo, and now Rump up into 4-second lead. Really unfortunate. Slimmy opening up the throttle just a tad too early. But now, of course, he's got to deal with Apex ahead. Meanwhile, the two Williams don't seem to get enough of each other. They were within a tenth of each other just earlier. Both of the drivers really conserving their ERS deployment well. And now, will Denja go for an attack on his teammate? DRS is open. 340 kph. Opting for the inside. Will he get the car to stop on time? Some wheel banging, but I believe the wings are intact. Denja using a lot of his battery. Side by side in Curva Grande they go. Neither of the drivers really giving an inch, as there is yet more wheel banging, but Denja gets the position for now. With, of course, Fontenau now having the DRS. But Denja with a near full battery has got a lot to defend with. Will Fonte go for a move here? I think he won't. He just backs out for Ascari. Oh, Denja having a bit of a slip up. Now Fontenau opting for the outside before Parabolica. The outside line. And they are still side by side as we head to the main straight. Which of the drivers will have DRS? It will be Denja. And should be keeping the position for now. But what a fight this is. As Slimmy has gone wide at the first corner. Gets a 5-second penalty out of it. And away goes Apex. Hopefully there was no contact between the two drivers. But Fontenau is still chasing his teammate. Nine laps have gone and passed. And for the soft runners, they should pit somewhere around now if they wish to opt for the undercut. Not really any visible wear in the front tires of Fontenau at least, but it should start to kick in sometime soon. John James with yet another penalty. I heard him with Reaper Dude and Sabetti close behind. The leading pack of the medium runners. And Fontenau drops back a bit, but still gets the DRS. AWS thinks that the pit window is open. Let's see who will be the first. Of course, with the team pairings of Racing Point and Williams need to really consider how they're gonna do this to avoid double stacks. May cost time to the second driver. Rob has really pulled a gap in the racing point up ahead, with the gap being almost 5 seconds by now. Rump a bit low on battery, but should be able to recharge once he drives into the pits. Will he do it this lap? Oh, and I think Ascari has his first victim in Slimmy, which results in a virtual safety car. Will the drivers take advantage of it? Romp stays out. What about Apex then? Apex will opt for the undercut. The Denja to follow suit. Fontenau should stay out and does. John James comes into the pits as well on the medium tires. So does Reproduce. So probably the medium runners have to opt for the hard tires now, if they wish to avoid stopping twice. Reproduce goes for the soft, so he has to stop again. No chance that the soft will go 16 laps. Really unfortunate for Slimmy. I think he was one of my winner candidates at least. As Denja is now having a tussle with Zap after pitting for the medium tires. Zap staying out and should have significantly more wear, and stays behind for now. But I think Denja benefited from the stop a bit, as he is closer to Apex now than he was before. Will he get DRS for the second straight? No. And our race leader Romp has now opted for the pits, where he will rejoin. He should be able to rejoin in front of Apex quite comfortably, even. And now goes for the medium tires, which should go to the end really comfortably. Sabetti will pass. Here's Apex now. Let's see at the pit exit. Apex gained a good second, but no more than that. Romp retains his provisional lead. So a lot of varying strategies here, as here's Fontenau, our now race leader. 11 laps on those softs already, and you can see somewhere in the left front. Nicely through Ascari. I believe he should pit sometime soon. Sabetti has crept up into the second position on his mediums, and will have the tire advantage when we draw closer to the finish. And now Fontenau will opt for the pits. Will he rejoin? Where will he rejoin? I believe he has to be behind Apex and Denja here. And Denja now trying to get the jump on Apex. DRS wide open, opting for the inside, going to the first chicane. Just makes the corner and gets the third position. As Fonten now has to deal with the traffic now and goes for the soft tires, so he must stretch them quite properly for 14 laps if he wishes to finish on those. And I don't quite remember if he started on the soft tires, because if he did, he has to stop once more. Was there a mishap in the Williams garage? Of course, now Fontenau trying to get past John James and Reproduce. Oh, and taps the back in the process. If there is damage, that might not be great for Fontenau's hopes of a podium. Hey, Arminator. How did your tier 3 race go, or is there a safety car period or something like that? Oh, jeez. That's a bummer. Where did you crash out, exactly? As we take a look at now, John James trying to get past Reaper Dude. Doesn't quite seem to be able to do so. Oh, and Mike has called it quits. In Lesmo too, John James taps the back of Fonte now. And gets the penalty out of it. And John James retires on track. Ah, yes. A classic mistake in Monza. Here in Tier 5, only one car has crashed out on Ascari thus far, and we will have a safety car resulting in from those incidents, so... Let's see. At the back, Dublade has opted for the medium tires. And should be on the lead lap. Does that hurt his teammate, who should be pitting sometime soon, and does? Will he opt for the soft tires here? It will be quite a stretch. 12 laps, of course, some of them behind the safety car. Yes, he will, so he will have the tire advantage going to the end. But yeah, Arminator, I feel your pain. All too many times I've crashed out in Ascari as well. I believe it was the first season of ALR. I crashed out on what I remember was lap 3. And then there was a restart due to something connection related happening. Managed to rejoin the race, starting from the back of course, and I think I finished on the points on that one. I'm not quite sure though. Let's have a look at the penalties. Reaper Dude with 8 after that contact behind the safety car with John James, who retired on track. Not cool, bro. Oh, and Fontenau has hit Reaper Dude, and that results in yet another 5-second penalty. From the looks of it, they made contact in Ascari, and now Fontenau is yet again missing a part of his front wing. Or did he even pit in between? I don't think he did. And he will be at least one more lap behind the safety car here in Monza. If the safety car comes in after this lap, it will be a 10-lap shootout to the finish. Dublade really getting a chance of redemption after so much bad luck in the opening laps. Luckily he's on the lead lap and gets to catch up to the field. And gets a shot at points. I believe... Oh, and there's even more contact behind the safety car. Let's see who it was. It was Cam and Noob Squid. As there is raindrops round Monza now. Yes, I am not seeing my own stuff. There is raindrops around Monza. So this might get interesting if the drivers will still have to pit. All of the strategies go to the trash can. And if we resume behind the safety car, and from the... No, it's a really late notification. Guys behind gotta be careful. And there we go, Romp and Denja collide at the top. A 5-second penalty for each, and if they have to pit for the wet tires later on, that might prove disadvantageous. Fonte now gets the jump and Reaper instantly after the line. Everybody's slithering away. Reaper going for a dive. Really cutting the corner there with Fonte now still alongside of him. And this will be interesting now. Rain has started to fall. And that penalty at the top might have a lot of impact on how this race is going to shape up. As Reaper gets his position back from Fontenau after the second chicane. Going around the Lesmos now. Noofsquid already opting for the inters, but I think it's way too early. The track seems dry enough for now. Fontenau going to the inside. Sabetti behind, trying to close on to Zab. And away goes Fontenau in the 4th position. Or will this be the irritating kind of rain when it just doesn't seem to get the track wet enough for wet tires, but it's still very slippery, as Dublade managed to get past Nichols, who has the pit, and Cam. Was there damage for him that I missed, unfortunately? Into the points goes Dublade. The cars at the back already opting for the wet tires, as there's yellow flags. Malakic has gone round and Sabetti has got past Sab just ahead of him, and that results in a retirement from Malakic. Where he at? That will be interesting to see, because if there's a safety car now, everyone is going to pour into the pits, and no, the track is definitely dry enough. It's just pulled off onto the side. And it would seem that we get to resume without the safety car, with Romp having a moment in his car which costs him the lead. Away goes Denja, and now Apex Turbo is trying to get the jump on him as well, and manages to do so. It definitely is getting more and more slippery around there. Who will prevail in these treacherous conditions? DRS still enabled. And Romp now trying to get back his 2nd position from Apex. Apex going defensive, and Romp really going all sorts of ways in his braking, but somehow manages to keep it under control. And Cam is the next car to pit. Will go to the intermediate tires. But I would personally wait for the DRS disabled call, or for the Jeff to call the strategy change. As the rear lights of the cars now come on, and that is one of the first signs that it's starting to get wet, too wet for the dry tires to run, and Romp now gets past Apex really nicely with DRS assistance. But now Ascari will be really interesting with the dry tires, all of them really having to lift there to avoid the almighty Spinala, which is perfectly demonstrated by Noofsquid at the back, unfortunately. Just before Curva Grande, and Denja has gone wide at Parabolica in the lead. Everybody struggling. And Apex and Fontano going to the pits. Danger jumps Fontano on the pit entry. Oh, what drama here in Monza, because now Danger gets the pit first. Fontano yet again has to wait in behind the championship leader. This is gonna hurt his chances massively here. Some of the drivers still stay out. The Betty trying to now trying to challenge Reproduce for the lead, but I think it's definitely too wet for the dry tires to run. The Sabety taps the back of Reproduce. Has now damage to his front wing, which is gonna cost additional time. Oh wait, and Denja had to serve his 5-second penalty. Ponta is not gonna like that, as he's now in 10th and might lose out to some of those pitting ahead. There's the DRS disabled call. No, definitely it would be the time to pit as Reproduce displays his drifting skills. Everybody taking it really cautiously, as they should pit now. And from the looks of it, Haas pit crew has to double stack yet again. Now gotta be careful not to speed, as Sabety does exactly that. And into the pits comes Dublade from 4th as well. Taking it much more cautiously. Where they will end up. Apex Turbo seemingly miles away in the lead. Sabety is out from the pit, so it's Dublade. We'll have a close call with Fontano. Rampaging from behind. And due to some, I don't know if it was miscommunication or what on earth was going on at the pit entry, but Denja did clearly and not all that safely pass his teammate on the pit entry. And has now dropped down in 10th. Fontana really having trouble with his rear end, trying to get Dublade ahead in his Haas, but what trauma we just got from the tier 5 guys here. I personally do think that pausing your, and it was your teammate even, but pausing on the pit entry must be illegal, as Noob Squid for some reason has opted for the soft tires, but it's nowhere near dry enough anymore. As Apex, I think he is pulling a bit of a gap. But it will be a matter of survival here late. Who can keep their pace together and survive Ascari for 5 more times as they come around yet again. There's yellow flags, that's Noob Squid. Hopefully he won't obstruct racing all that much. Should be ghosted though. As at the back now, Fontana is trying to pass Dublade. Goes for the inside line. Side by side they go. Two-blade defending nicely. Fontenau cuts the corner. That was surely where the warning as Two-blade goes for the outside before Parabolica. And retakes his 9th position. Fontenau furiously coming back at him though. The drivers are side by side for the first straight. Two-blade seemingly having the better of the straight line speeds. Both of them going really wide at the first corner. Fontenau opts for the switchback, gets the outside lane for Curva Grande. And is passed back into the 9th position. Really entertaining battle here at the back. Stubbe has a look to the inside, goes for the gap, but can't really make it work. Not much grip elsewhere apart from the racing line. See the penalties for now. So 6 seconds between the two we're watching here. Zabinforth has 3, Reaper has 16, so that's gonna drop him back quite a while. Sabeta with 8, Cam with 5, Nikos with 9. Let's keep that to the end because everyone should be driving on the intermediate tires and not much else. There is still 4 laps to go. Romp now chasing Apex Turbo. He wants this win. I believe he hasn't won a race in Tier 5 this season. Meanwhile, Apex Turbo has won 2. So Romp definitely hungry for that first win after his second, finishing second last time out in Belgium. Nichols is now up to 12 seconds of penalties. And DRS is enabled, so will there be another dry run? Of course, there's such a little time to run anymore. I don't think anyone should opt for the tire change unless there's a massive advantage to be gained. As Romp has now 3 seconds of penalties, so it's looking very good for Apex to win here at the Temple of Speed in the Italian Alfa Romeo. So DRS gets enabled and Two-blade now really close to Fontenau ahead, having used a lot of his battery and clearly has more straight line speed. Will he go to the inside on Parabolica? Yes, he will. Gotta be careful not to make contact there. And they do exactly that. Fontenau taps the side pod of Two-blade and opts for the pits. That was not very nicely done from Fontenau. And I believe we may see that in the stewards' reports as some drivers gamble for the dry tires here in the end. Will that be enough? There's still 3 laps to run. We're in for a very exciting finish. Mental how the weather can change in such a way that it goes momentarily to wet and then back to dry. The battle for the lead is still raging on. And as I'm looking at the gaps, Reproduce is just flying with those softs, getting past Two-blade in the process. And Two-blade missing parts of his front wing after that contact with Fontenau, unfortunately. And I believe we may see that in the stewards' reports. As Denja has now pitted, there's still only 2 laps to run. Will he be able to benefit out of that? That we will see, but the softs are definitely faster than the intermediate tires. As Romp is still trying to catch Apex Turbo with a near empty battery. And still having the intermediate tires. The track is looking very dry, so those inters must be overheating. Two-Blade now opting for the pits and probably for some repairs on the soft tires, so let's see. I'm pretty sure that no one in the leading pack is gonna gamble and go for the softs anymore. They gotta be very careful around Ascari, especially now that the tires are overheating already. Overheating rear tires can cause a spin. And Romp wants to attack Apex Turbo. This is the last chance to do so. As the final lap here in Monza has begun, and it's looking like Apex will clinch a comfortable win here, unless there is something very dramatic here and in the final lap. Denja has catched 5 seconds to damage it in his soft tires, but will he be able to get the move done before the line, as we are already in the final lap here? Oh, and Denja gets a 3-second penalty here. So looking at the penalties, the only one who might have to concede is Sabeti with 8 seconds. But we will see that in the finish. As Romp and Apex are still nip and tack at the front. Romp out of battery and out of fuel, which Apex still has plenty, so I don't think there will be a move. They have got to Ascari. And into Parabolica they come, and it seems like Apex Turbo will get his 3rd win here in ALR Tier 5. And yes, he does. Followed closely by Romp, who had a nice drive, but unfortunately not enough for the win today. Zap, the Ukrainian driver, gets the final podium position, followed by Sabeti in 4th. Denja manages to go past Cam in the end to finish 4th on penalties. Reaper Dude comes home 7th on track. Here is Fonta now. Should be coming home for a P8, but I believe he has a lot to say after that pass of Denja in the pit entry, going to the stage where we were going to the wet conditions. Here's Two-Blade, who unfortunately made contact with Fonta now in Parabolica, lost his front wing, and I believe he too has a lot to say about that. But will still finish on the points after being miles behind. There's some unlucky events in the opening stages of the race. Crossed the line with low fuel mode, but still a points finish for him. Zap being nominated to the Codemasters Driver of the Day. So it was a pretty good Monza race. There was a lot of drama, a lot of overtakes. No one really holding anything back. As we take one final look at the standings, Apex Turbo clinching the win from being 4th in the grid. Nice drive. Romp has to settle for 2nd. Unfortunate 3-second penalty. But a good drive nonetheless. Zap taking the final podium position in 3rd. Denja in 4th after the two Williams locked horns basically the entire race. Sabetti in his house is able to take home 5th. Cam in 6th. Reaper in 7th. Fontenau in 8th. Dewblade manages to come back and take the points finish with him, and Noob Squid, albeit a lap behind, gets the single point. Olakic with the fastest lap of 1:22, but not finishing into P10 isn't worth a point, unfortunately. But that shall do it for Monza. Next time round it will be utter madness as we head down to the parking lot Grand Prix of Vietnam. If you're too young to have Vietnam flashbacks, well, you're certainly gonna have them after next week's race in the Hanoi parking lot. But anyways, thank you Tier 5 for a very entertaining race. My name was alluPallu. Thank you for watching, and we will see you next week. Good night.